Hi, good morning everyone. Myself Santosh Rajendra Gola. Today's date is 22 June 2022 and today's our video topic is OOPS concept in Java. First of all, OOPS means object oriented programming language. Uh, it is a paradigm that provides many concepts such as inheritance, data binding, polymorphism, etc. Simultaneously, it is considered the first object-oriented programming language and the programming paradigm where everything is represented as a object is known as truly object-oriented programming language. A small talk is considered the first truly object-oriented programming language, and the popular OOPS language are C Sharp, PHP, and Python, C++, etc. And the main aim of the OOPS is to implement real-world entities. For the example, the object, class, abstraction, and inheritance, polymorphism, etc. OOPS programming system object means it is a real entity such as a pen, chair, table, and computer, etc. In OOPS programming, it is a methodology or a paradigm to design a program using classes and the objects, and it simplifies software development and maintenance by providing and concepts and some concepts, object, class, inheritance, and polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulations. From these concepts, these are some other terms which are used in object oriented design, and coupling in which OOPS concept object Java at any entity that has a state and behavior is known as object. For example, a chair and a table, keyboard and bike, and it can be a physical or a logical, and the object can be defined as an instance of a class, and an object can communicate without knowing the details of each other, uh, and the data or a code. The only necessary thing is the main type of a message accepted and the type of a response written by the objects. For example, a dog is an object because it has its states, and it is a logical entity in which a class can also be defined as a blueprint from which you can create an individual objects, and in the class we can create many objects, and a class doesn't confuse consume any space. Inheritance, when one object acquires all the properties and behaviors of a parent class, it is known as an inheritance, and it provides of a parent object, and it is known as inheritance, and it provides of a parent object, it is known as a achieve runtime polymorphism. And polymorphism in Java, in this polymorphism, for example, to convince the customer differently to draw something, we should have to give a shape, triangle and rectangle, and another example can be a speak something, and the functionality is known as that abstraction in which internal data and the showing functionality is known as abstraction, and we use abstract class and interface to achieve the abstract together. And encapsulation in Java, OOPS is the concept in which wrapping of a data and different, and for example, it is a capsule, it is wrapped with the different medicines, and a class is the example of encapsulation. Java begin is the fully encapsulated, and a class because all the data members are information or dependency of another class, and it arises when information of another class, there is a strong coupling in Java, and we use a private, protected, and a public modifiers to display the visibility of the level of the class. And methods and fields, you can see interface for the weaker coupling because there is a concrete implementation And co-enhance refers to the level of component to perform the single well-defined task, and the weakly coherence method will split the task into a separate. And the java.io package is highly coexistive package because it has IO related classes and interface. However, the Java util class interface association, it represents the associated and many objects. There can be four relationship with real-time examples in which one country can have many ministers. And to achieve association aggregation is very to achieve the aggregation represents the relationship where it contains uh, an object. It also terms has a relationship in Java, like inheritance represents the it is a relationship, and it also a way to association, and the composition represents the part of its a strong relationship between where the containing objects do not independent existing. If you delete the parent object, all the child object will be deleted automatically. And the advantages of OOPS over procedure oriented easier, whereas in procedure oriented programming language, and it is not easy to manage if the code grows to a project increases. Thank you.